Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, September 14th. So welcome to the new moon in Virgo day. We will have the new moon in Virgo reach its peak energy at 9:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for many of us, we are going to be experiencing this new moon peak very late here today. Some of us, depending on where you're at in the world, may see this peak early Friday morning. Now, I think it's also important to mention that this is the last day for Mercury to be retrograde. Mercury is in his rulership in Virgo season, rulership of this new moon in Virgo. And so this is the last day that Mercury will be retrograde, adding a lot of pressure to the mental plane, adding some urgency, some impulse, some intensity to want to take action, to want to make moves, but we're not in the energy to do that. This is a new moon. This is the dark phase of the moon. There's no illumination. This is about resting, realigning, recalibrating. This is about thinking, planning, strategizing, not a time of action. So please resist the urge to take action, to make moves, to initiate anything new, because it will come back on you threefold in a little bit more messier of a situation than it needs to be. There are 9 different aspects here today, and 9 of them going to involve the moon, which makes it a moon day. This is going to be intense. I am going to encourage you to listen to the astro forecast that I put out for the new moon in Virgo. I'm going to encourage you to listen to September's energy forecast, your zodiac forecast, to understand where this is happening in your chart, where it's going to appear in your life. I'm going to encourage you to bust out the Virgo season e-guide. If you've already downloaded it, you should be kind of, on the page where we have 2 events taking place here this week so that you can capture the vibe. You can kind of capture the attention, the focus that is needed on your particular path. And if you haven't downloaded the Virgo season e-guide, there's still time. So we have a lot going on, especially considering the fact that the new moon in Virgo is successfully bringing into completion the kite formation that we have been kind of constructing since the full moon in Pisces. If you're interested to learn a little bit more about that kite formation, where it is that we are basically at a crossroads and choosing our fate, please jump over to Patreon. I have a whole astro class on it. It is very interesting. It definitely explains the void, the funk that we've been in. And the new moon in Virgo definitely going to help us kind of declutter our mental plane in order for us to focus on the things that we need to build, we need to strengthen, we need to improve. We have been sitting in the funk, recognizing what it is that we no longer want to tolerate or experience or continue to pursue. And from that, we're creating a new framework on what it is that we would prefer to pour our time, energy, and attention into instead of the things that are falling apart and currently collapsing. So we have the moon interacting with Mars early on in the day here. Now, Mars is in Libra energy, which he's not so happy to be in because he's kind of stuck in the intellectual battlefield. He can't yield a sword. He can't take action. He can't make moves. He has to kind of plan and strategize and negotiate and compromise what the path, what the plan, what the strategy will actually be. Now, the moon interacting with Mars in this way, it is a positive way, so it is going to illuminate for us where it is that we kind of have to build up some energy. We have to be inspired or excited or motivated or determined. I would say that, tapping into the lighter vibes of being excited and being a little bit inspired is better than tapping into the lower vibrations of anger and frustration, but sometimes that is the fuel source that we need in order to make a dramatic change in our lives. So what this is doing is just illuminating for us where it is that we have to build up the energy, build up that warrior type of spirit in preparation for us to really tackle some of the areas of concern that we no longer want to experience or tolerate. So this is kind of showing us the 2 options available to us, which is either stay in the situation that we're currently at, doing the same old and expecting different results, or where we're going to bust away from the old and actually be inspired, excited, motivated, determined enough to try something new. The moon is going to interact with Chiron, the wounded healer, who is retrograde in Aries energy. This is a positive interaction, so this means that we are identifying in our emotional realm, in our mental plane, where it is that we have to flip the script. where we have to have a better narrative, where we have to be more encouraging and supportive to thyself. We have to understand where the problem narratives have been, where we've been overly judgmental and highly critical of ourselves, where we've been beating ourselves down, picking ourselves apart, in order for us to build ourselves up in a much better way. The Chiron energy, especially being aspected in this positive realm of interaction, means that we are starting to realize who it is that we now are, who it is that we do not want to be anymore, and where it is that we're a little bit more accepting on where it is that we have to grow, where it is that we have to heal, where it is that we have to change. The moon is going to interact with Pluto, the great transformer himself, who is retrograde in this Capricorn energy, giving us an opportunity to collapse some of the old systems, the foundations, the structures of our lives, especially where power and control are concerned, realizing where it is that we've had to go through pain, through trauma, through situations where we felt powerless, in order for us to understand where it is that we have the opportunity to switch that narrative into something empowering, where it is that we had to learn from the darkness, where it is that we had to stand very strong in the light, where it is that we have to sit in the pain in order to realize how powerful that narrative, that storyline is going to be for us. Now, granted, this isn't the most positive interaction that the moon and Virgo and Pluto could make. However, it is going to illuminate the tension, the conflict that is still existing in our mental plane, in our emotions, where it is that we're kind of stuck in this particular situation and circumstance, and where we haven't come up with a solution on how it is that we're going to break free from this narrative, from this feeling, from the concepts of taking a good look at the pain, at the trauma, at the struggle, and understanding where it is that we have the ability to kind of walk ourselves out of that victim mentality and walk ourselves into a more powerful frame of mind. This is going to be very intense, but of course we're in the dark phase of the moon, so everything is supposed to be intense. We're supposed to be illuminated to what it is in our past, in our current situation, that doesn't feel good, in order for us to realize whether or not we're going to continue to pour energy into it, whether we're going to continue this experience, whether we're going to continue to tolerate these particular circumstances, or whether or not we're going to boss up, take control, and break away from the things that are absolutely just suffocating us and keeping us stuck in this holding pattern. The moon is then going to interact with Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money, who is in Leo energy, the heart and soul of the zodiac. Now, Venus is still in her post-retrograde shadow period until October 8th, so there still is a little bit of confusion, a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of sadness, of grief on that heart space, because we're building ourselves up to be able to take action, to make moves, to rearrange our physical realm as according to what it is that we've already sorted out, who and what needs to stay, needs to go. Well, the moon interacting with Venus in this way, lucky for us, is a positive interaction, which means that the moon in Virgo focused in on the smaller details of our daily lives, of what needs to change, what needs to improve, what needs to be removed, what needs to be kind of focused on, in order for us to build around a reality that looks good, that feels good, that provides us with happiness, joy, pleasure, safety, security, and stability. And mostly where it is that we're in alignment with our heart space, where we're having to build ourselves up to be bold and brave and courageous to do what our heart is asking us to do. The moon in Virgo going to trine Jupiter. Trine is a beautiful interaction. Jupiter, of course, the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings. Jupiter is retrograde in this Taurus energy, giving us an opportunity to step back, really reflect on whether or not we still have the same goals. We still have the same vision. We still have the same kind of dream that we're looking to pursue. And many of us have had a change of heart, have had a change of mind, especially considering what it is that we were eagerly awaiting to pursue back in May when Jupiter first moved into this Taurus energy. This is giving us an opportunity to observe whether or not we are still motivated and inspired to continue building upon the path in which we've been building. The moon interacting with Jupiter in this way is definitely showing us where it is that we are building our optimism, building our confidence, renewing our faith, if you will, on what it is that we feel to be true in the here and now. Meaning that there's a lot of planets in a retrograde. There is a lot of reflection back. There's a lot of confusion, lacking clarity on where it is that we're moving forward, because of course we're not supposed to be building something from scratch and initiating new chapters to move forward. We're supposed to be resolving the past. And so Jupiter is here to kind of magnify for us where it is in our physical realm, again, fixed earth sign energy from Taurus, where it is that, you know what, we're kind of stuck in a rut, where we don't feel like we're on the same path, where we don't feel like we have the same goals and visions as we did back in May. So this is going to help us kind of focus in on the smaller little pieces. That's what Virgo energy does. The smaller pieces, the smaller details of the greater, grander plan that we thought we were in pursuit of. The moon in Virgo going to interact with Chiron again, this time not in the nicest way. Chiron being the wounded healer, retrograde in this Aries energy is going to illuminate for us where it is that we're having a little bit of fear, a little bit of doubt, a little bit of insecurity, a little bit of imposter syndrome, if I do say so myself. The old self is kind of falling apart, kind of falling away, but the new self hasn't been anchored in as of yet. And of course, in this particular interaction, we are kind of seeing where it is that we're feeling blocked from healing, from growing, from improving, from really kind of building ourselves into this new version of self. We are examining where it is, especially in our emotions and in our mental plane, we don't have the right kind of structure, support, encouragement, if you will, to really kind of push ourselves out of the boundaries, out of the confines that our old self was comfortable operating in, to really stand our ground, to emerge as this new version of self. So we're starting to realize where the problem is, and that's a beautiful thing because this Virgo energy needs to focus on the problems in order to come up with solutions. The moon then goes ahead and interacts with the North Node in Aries in a very positive way, and especially considering that we're coming out of this not so nice aspect with Chiron, this is going to illuminate for us where it is that we had an aha moment, where it is that we've identified the fear, the doubt, the insecurity, where it is that we've identified why it is that we're afraid to grow, afraid to heal, afraid to change. And again, when we kind of bring these unconscious thoughts into our awareness, that's when we can flip the script. That's when we can do something about it. This North Node in Aries wants us to get on the right path in order to reach our soul's purpose, our soul's potential, our soul's mission. And the mission over the next 18 months is to become a little bit more independent, a little bit stronger in the sense of who it is that we are, really putting our own wants, needs, and desires ahead of everyone else's and breaking free from the people-pleasing, I'm going to say, characteristics that the Libran energy, the South Node in Libra, has us constantly pouring into. We need to break away from allowing people to have too much influence over what it is that we want and need to do for ourselves. So the moon in Virgo interacting with the North Node in this way is definitely showing us where we can take a baby step moving forward, where we can examine that inner narrative, where we can flip the script of that emotion, and really kind of give ourselves a standing chance, if you will, to rewrite this fear-based egoic programming into something more elevated, more encouraging, more motivating, more inspiring. 9:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is when the moon conjuncts the sun, giving us our new moon in Virgo. Again, please listen to the astro forecast, download your moon guide, listen to the zodiac forecast so that you understand where this is taking place in your chart. This is going to be, I'm going to say, the change that we've been waiting for. However, considering the fact that this new moon in Virgo is going to, this whole cycle is going to be the influence that we move into the equinox energy with, into Libra season with, we are definitely going to take a very low, slow approach to piecing together the clarity, the path, the plan that many of us have been eager beavers awaiting to kind of take action upon. So you'll realize if you download the moon guide that Uranus is a major key player in this particular moon event. And we love this because the last aspect that we have here today is a beautiful trine with Uranus. Uranus is the great awakener who is retrograde in this Taurus energy. And Uranus is giving us a aha moment, an epiphany, a particular perspective, version, an illumination, giving us information, giving us a jolt of energy to change our mind. And when we can change our mind and open up that mind space to consider different perspectives, different sides of the coin, we have the ability to change our emotions. And Uranus wants us to see things from a different set of eyes in order for us to realize where we need a spontaneous change to take place, especially in our physical realms, because of course we're talking about earth energy. So this comes down to our own self-worth, our own self-value, our own self-confidence. That translates into the relationship dynamics that we have with other people. That translates into our current financial state as well. And it also kind of contributes to the long-term plans that we're trying to piece together at this point, that we're trying to plan, that we're trying to strategize. So having the moon kind of trine Uranus shortly thereafter we reach that new moon peak energy means that there's going to be a lot of electricity. So definitely be concerned about your anxiety levels. Give your physical body a task, a chore as an outlet to get some of this energy out. But overall, this trine is a gentle nudge, a change for the right reasons, in the right direction, which means that whatever epiphany, whatever aha moment, whatever perspective and understanding emerges for you, that's something that you can't know, that will forever be the catalyst to making the changes, to making the transformations that we absolutely have to make in our physical realm right now to initiate the new chapter of karma that we're about to enter into and start working on when we enter into the equinox energy.